Introduction. In its definition, money laundering is the clandestine movement of money from one country to another without notifying it to the government authorities. The Financial Action Task Force, FATF, defines money laundering as the processing of criminal proceeds to disguise their illegal origin. Money laundering is recognized as a crime in domestic law worldwide. Money laundering can be committed through several kinds of financial and commercial activities, for instance, digital money transfers, cash transactions, credit card payments, offshore property building, and wire transfers. The primary objectives of money laundering include evading taxes, disguising ill-gotten incomes, and converting illegally earned money into legitimate assets. Reasons for increase in money laundering. Money laundering has increased in the world at an alarming pace. There are multiple reasons for this increase. Rapid developments in financial information, technology, and communication allow money to move anywhere in the world with speed and ease. This makes the task of combating money laundering more urgent than ever. The deeper, dirty money gets into the international banking system, the more difficult it is to identify its origin. Because of the clandestine nature of money laundering, it is difficult to estimate the total amount of money that goes through the laundry cycle. There have been a number of developments in the international financial system during recent decades that have made the three F's, finding, freezing, and forfeiting of criminally derived income and assets, all the more difficult. These are the dollarization, i.e., the use of the United States dollar in transactions, of black markets, the general trend towards financial deregulation, the progress of the euro market, and the proliferation of financial secrecy havens. Fueled by advances in technology and communications, the financial infrastructure has developed into a perpetually operating global system in which megabyte money, i.e., money in the form of symbols on computer screens, can move anywhere in the world with speed and ease. The volume of money laundering. The international community loses hundreds of billions of dollars every year due to trade-based money laundering, says a U.S. report which identifies China, Russia, Mexico, and India as the top 4 sources of illicit financial outflows. The report identifies India as the 4th largest source of illicit financial outflows in the world. It notes that India's main money laundering vulnerability comes from a widespread lack of access to formal financial institutions, particularly in the rural sector, that has resulted in the growth of informal financing networks. The report also refers to a study by a United States think tank, the Global Financial Integrity, GFI, which estimates that India loses up to $51 billion every year due to illicit financial outflows. China tops the GFI list with $139 billion average outflow of illicit finances per annum, followed by Russia, $104 billion, and Mexico, $52.8 billion. The estimated amount of money laundered globally in 1 year is 2 to 5% of global GDP, or $800 billion, $2 trillion in current US dollars. Though the margin between those figures is huge, even the lower estimate underlines the seriousness of the problem governments have pledged to address. However, the above estimates should be treated with caution. They are intended to give an estimate of the magnitude of money laundering. Due to the illegal nature of the transactions, precise statistics are not available, and it is therefore impossible to produce a definitive estimate of the amount of money that is globally laundered every year. The FATF, therefore, does not publish any figures in this regard. How much money is laundered out of Pakistan? The practice of money laundering also costs Pakistan more than $10 billion a year. In Pakistan, estimates of illicit financial flows put over $10 billion as escaping taxation and being siphoned off outside the country. This is with nearly 1/3 of the population living below the poverty line. 3 stages of money laundering. Money is laundered in the following 3 steps. 1. Placement. The first step is related to depositing cash funds in foreign banks. This step is called placement, as the funds are placed in foreign banks without drawing the attention of national authorities. Layering. The second step is linked to carrying out financial transactions, cash withdrawals, wire transfers, etc., and hiding the original source of money. This step is called layering, as the money launderer performs several financial transactions which act as layers of cash. Online transactions, notably wire transfers, are the quickest way of layering, as multiple cash transactions can occur speedily through them. 3. Integration. The third step is related to the use of money for investment or any other action. This step is called the integration of funds, as the laundered money is actually used at this stage. When money has reached this step, it becomes difficult or almost impossible for the anti-money laundering authorities to track the laundered money, unless a trial or investigation had started when the money was in the first or second stage. In the initial or placement stage of money laundering, the launderer introduces his illegal profits into the financial system. This might be done by breaking up large amounts of cash into less conspicuous smaller sums that are then deposited directly into a bank account, or by purchasing a series of monetary instruments, checks, money orders, etc., that are then collected and deposited into accounts at another location. After the funds have entered the financial system, the second stage of layering takes place. In this phase, the launderer engages in a series of conversions or movements of the funds to distance them from their source. The funds might be channeled through the purchase and sale of investment instruments, or the launderer might simply wire the funds through a series of accounts at various locations or jurisdictions that do not cooperate in anti-money laundering investigations. In some instances, the launderer might disguise the transfers as payments for goods or services, thus giving them a legitimate appearance. Having successfully processed his criminal profits through the first two phases, the launderer then moves them to the third stage of integration, in which the funds re-enter the legitimate economy. The launderer introduction. In its definition, money laundering is the clandestine movement of money from one country to another without notifying it to the government authorities. The Financial Action Task Force, FATF, defines money laundering as the processing of criminal Having successfully processed his criminal profits through the first two phases, the launderer then moves them to the third stage of integration, in which the funds re-enter the legitimate economy. The launderer might choose to invest the funds in real estate, luxury assets, or business ventures. At this stage, the laundered money appears to be legitimate, making it difficult for authorities to trace its illicit origins. This marks the final phase, where the money becomes fully integrated into the economy, making it nearly impossible to differentiate it from legally earned assets.